Right now, I'm just trying to clean up some things. I'm going to rename our notebooks to /nesvec/examples. And then I'm going to move everything in examples into that directory. I'm going to do a git move. I don't know if you've ever used git before. We're trying to get, it's moving them and renaming them within the git repository as well as within anyway, this is a complicated command, but I'm just trying to get my stuff cleaned up a little bit. Great, that all worked. Get status, get add. I'll go ahead and commit that stuff. Move examples to source/nesvec. Nesvec is this package we use to measure the ness of words, like the hotness or coolness or redness or locationness. Remember how we're doing like named entity recognition? So whether it's a name, a nameness can be a quantity you want to measure. So this is what this package is for, but obviously it does a lot of other things with word vectors or word embeddings. And we're going to be using that today as part of the chapter 12 discussion that we've been having this month on transformers. And we're going to be talking about some more basic models that are used for like translation. So we're going to first just figure out how to generate text before we do a full encoder decoder. Where am I at? Get status again. Get add. I need to add two new things. I'll quickly give an overview of what those are in case you ever need these things. Wiki crawl is for crawling Wikipedia and grabbing a bunch of web pages, and it'll crawl it in any language you want. I think I've got some translation functions now in the repository too, so you can search for terms like medicine on the Ukrainian Wikipedia. So you can get a bunch of, that's what we use to get a bunch of Wikipedia articles about medicines and medicine names. So we could train these word embeddings on Ukrainian. But let me think, where was it? And that text one is just things like pre-processing to do things like normalizing all those weird characters that are in Unicode, like accents and stuff, to normalize that to be something that can be handled by NLP pretty easily. Also, just a basic tokenizer. So get status again, get push. Great. Okay, so I think I've got everything committed. Get status. So I need to get commit dash. I've added them. I haven't added. So I'm going to add text pre-processing and wiki crawl at Wikipedia. Crawling. Get push. Now all that code should be on the repository. Let's see if I can stop this share. Great. Now let's do another share and see if that works on this other window. Okay, so this is a new file that exists on the NesVec repository on the team repository. So the team repository is what we use for all the interns. And so in there is a bunch of resources for learning. And so I've added all these Twitch videos to a YAML file there under the exercises directory, I think, somewhere. Let's talk about what we're going to do today. So we're going to try to create a text generating LSTM model, which is one of the precursors to attention mechanisms and the stuff we're doing in chapter 12 for transformers. So we're going to try to generate text. And we're going to do this, the current one, I'm going to try to do this from Wikipedia crawling. So we're going to use Wikipedia as our source of grammatically correct English, which isn't always a good assumption, but it'll do for now. But it is going to be about LSTM, and it's going to be about generating text. Okay, first we need to crawl Wikipedia, so let's go do that first. Let's go to the wiki crawl, and see what functions are working there, and see if we can run any of those. The one I'm going to use mostly probably is just this search. I'll just give it a list of search queries, and it should be able to crawl Wikipedia and grab let's say 50 pages. We'll just do 50 pages in English, and I'll grab them once every like 100 milliseconds, I think. So we should be able to get those in 5 seconds. Or, well, no, because the web request takes a little bit longer than that. Okay, let's fire up a new share. Oh, darn, I'm going to have to. Okay, this will be the last share I do. So we're going to be stuck with the full desktop now. We're going to do this search. Let's do it in that Jupyter notebook that I just uploaded. Work on NSVEC. And cd src/NSVEC/examples and Jupyter Notebook. That's because I'm switching back and forth between windows. I had to do this share the whole screen. Okay, I think I'll put this in chapter 8, my start on this. And he's loading a bunch of movie stuff. So I'm going to say this is a new. Let's make a copy of this and let's call this Wikipedia. LSTM language model for text generation from Wikipedia. Great. This is his blog post at Vidya, analyticsvidya.com. That's where I got the some of the working code for this. Let's see if we can import NSVEC in this package. Let's go down to the bottom. Let's do it at the top. Create a new cell. We're not going to be doing pickling anymore. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing this. Let's go ahead and do it right here. From NSVEC.wiki crawl import star. Bad practice, but we'll see if that works. And we don't need this anymore. But I'll go ahead and say Wikipedia here. This should fail. EN Wiki for English Wikipedia, because I think I have some JSON there anyway. Let's just go ahead and run it and see what happens. And okay, looks like URL lib requests. Oh, interesting. Looks like it's trying to do the stuff in NSVEC, but NSVEC doesn't have URL lib. Let's see what environment I'm running in my Jupyter notebook. I'm running NSVEC. That's interesting. Let's see if I can, in the background, conda work on NSVEC. Conda install URL lib. I didn't know that needed to be installed. I thought that was built into Python. I'm doing this. Oh, I don't need that anymore. Well, yeah, I do, because of NSVEC needs it. Okay, let's see where URL lib exists. And let's go look at that error message and make sure I'm not. In wiki crawl, I've got from URL lib requests import. Okay, let's see what URL lib.requests is. See if that exists. Oh, it's probably trying to go to a web page. Oh, no, it's not. Great. See if that's a package that needs to be pip installed. Or pip install. Okay, let's go to pyp.org. And let's look for URL lib. This is really weird. URL lib 3 and stuff. Let's pick on harmless package to prevent exploitation. Okay, yeah. So this is what's called name squatting. People will try to come up with packages that are similar to URL lib. So you might accidentally install the wrong library. Utility library for mocking out the URL lib 3 library. Let's see if I can pip install URL lib 3. There it is. That's probably the official one. Yeah, that looks like it. So let's conda install that, or pip install, whichever you prefer. And let's make sure we add it to our requirements as well. I may have to say -c conda forge for that to work. I know, you are using Anaconda, so this conda command will work in your terminal once you have Anaconda installed properly. Have you ever run conda from your environment? Oh, it's already installed.
Yes, I have.
Great.
But recently my Jupyter Notebook kernel has been dying, so I don't know.
What do you mean it dies? What does it do when it
Um,
dies?
because I'm working on the name entity recognition, and when I realized that when I imported spacey, the kernel would always die.
When you say it die, it just slows down and freezes and stops doing anything?
Yeah.
Or does it completely crash? Okay. That could be because you have a slow computer. It seems like pretty quickly I'm going to need to give you access to a faster computer with more RAM. One thing I would suggest you do is install a tool called HTOP. Well, first, use your monitor that's built into Mac to see how much RAM you're using. And make sure you've closed browsers like Chrome, or closed all the tabs in your Chrome browser. Maybe even use Firefox for your Jupyter Notebook and install Firefox, and avoid using Chrome. Chrome uses up a lot of RAM. The most important thing is to check and see how much RAM you're currently using, and try to close all the applications that might be using up too much RAM. And you probably also want to do it on a nice network connection, like at your school, because those are big language models that take up almost a gigabyte. They take up a lot of RAM and a lot of disk space as well. Were you loading the medium MD model or the LG model for large? Do you remember? In Spacey. Or were you just...
I just pipped install spacey.
Oh, just pip install Spacey. Okay, that's still a big package. We'll find out what resources you're lacking. So find out if it's RAM, find out if your CPU is bogging down, or find out if maybe it's your disk that's bogging down. Where was I? So I am able to import URL-lib, no problem. So that has been installed properly.
This is URL-lib.request. Is that the separate package?
Okay, you're right. Let's see if pip install, or it's already said URL-lib3. Maybe requests is not part of. Here's another trick. We can find out what is possible with URL-lib. Can dir it? Oops, not dit it. Dir it. Not a lot to do there. Request singular, not requests. Okay, typo. Wiki crawl. URL-lib. Cool. Well, I'm sure there'll be a bunch of other bugs, but we'll get it going again. So okay, I'm still in the Nest. You can see I'm in the NestVec Conda environment. So I can say Jupyter Notebook, and I'm in the correct folder, I think. This is the way I like to launch Jupyter Notebook. That way I know where I'm at on my computer. And I'm going to go into chapter 8. We're going to go into the new Wikipedia. Let's get rid of the old ones so I don't get confused. Don't restart. Ooh. Let me stay on this page just for a second. And let's copy some of this. And now I can get rid of it. Leave page. Get rid of that search. Don't restart. Stay on page. Don't restart. Close it out. Leave page. This is the problem when you stop and restart Jupyter Notebook. Now we're back and functional. And I've got this one open. Looks like it already taken care of all that. So it should crash a little further down this part. Excellent. Oh no. Stir join takes exactly one argument, 2 given. Oh, I can't join 2 things with a slash. That's silly. Not sure why that ever worked anywhere. Let's go to wiki crawl line 237. That's the problem. I'm combining 237. Or let's just do the slash find dot join. There it is. Okay. Maybe it takes a list of strings. So I think if I do it like that, a sequence of strings should work just fine. You can see I haven't tested this code, this wiki crawl code. A lot of type. Oh, I'm gonna have to. Okay, let's deal with these. I actually typed an extra character. Let's get rid of some of this other stuff. Does it give me not a time imported, but not you, but unused? That's all okay. Those are all fine. Those aren't serious errors, so I think I can move on to and run that again. Yeah, good. We did all the imports, so we're good to go. Next, I can get rid of all this. I don't even need this at all. Put this in a separate cell. Once we have some data, then we'll load it that way. Once we have it dumped to WikiCrawl, we'll dump it to data. So now let's just use it, create another cell below it, and let's see who we've got. Got lots of functions now within that we imported from WikiCrawl. I think I want to do I don't need crawl pages or create dump JSON. Let's look back. I know it was down at the bottom here. Crawl pages doesn't work yet. Download titles, I think, is used elsewhere. WikiCrawl will actually probably work. It's not actually crawling anything. It's just doing a search, a bunch of searches, and it's just doing one round of searches. Let's just use WikiCrawl and see what happens. And we'll use the defaults, language, and everything, and just get that running so it can start pulling stuff down. WikiCrawl. I should call that crawl Wikipedia or something, but for now, let's give it a list of subjects to titles or things to search for. In fact, I've got a clever trick where I can actually just put commas in there. We'll test some of the magic I added. So we can say pro-social, comma, win-win, comma, super cooperator, regenerative economy. That's probably way too much. So let's say results, search results. Let's just get 10 for each of those, or maybe 20 instead of 50. Let's see what happens. Oh, awesome. And it dumped it, to Ukrainian 63. That doesn't help at all. Doesn't look like it did anything useful. Let's see what happened. Let's see what's in that. See what was created. LS. There's that. Let's see if there's anything at all in that file. There's no way that happened that fast. And it shouldn't have done Ukrainian anyway.
Is that function? Crawling, you told it to a specific location?
Yeah, I hard-coded something I shouldn't have. Let's just use the search one and just do it manually. And let's give it the name. It should have sent the language. Let's see what's happening in that search function. Def search. Have you already seen that code and seen the error?
No, I
just guessing.
You didn't tell it a location and it picked one, so.
Yeah, exactly. It picked some default. Really weird that I've got Ukraine still in here going. I thought I'd clean that up. Well, wiki.search, so it's going to search for the query. It's going through all the queries and doing the search. It's not even getting anything back. Maybe I should go all the way down to the wiki and just do the search manually myself. Because maybe the wiki isn't getting created. Set lang. Let's do a lot of this manually in a cell so I can fix it. It doesn't look like we're going to get very close to the things we need to do. I do know that there is some Ukrainian we could process if we run out of time. I'll give myself 10 more minutes. I'll go ahead and leave this in there. Looks like that splitting worked okay. I have a clever magic function that just tries to guess what things you're looking for when you give it a string instead of a list of strings. And I'll set lang to English directly. And then we'll do this wiki search on results equals results.append. Whatever we get back from that search is what we'll put in there.
What's that Q?
Yeah, exactly. What do you think I'm going to do? Yeah, exactly. There we go. Let's see if any of this works. Results equals results. That's also not defined. Let's just do 10 results for each query. Damn. So this Wikipedia thing this searching is not working the way I want. Let's do a manual search. Wiki.search pro social. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's just getting titles. It's not getting articles. So I have to actually then go download each one of those titles using wiki.page, I think it is. Let's see what it is. Wiki.page. Is that an option? Yeah, great. Let's say pro-social behavior and see if that works. Woohoo! Okay, so that's what I need to do. I'm not doing that in crawl, so I'll go ahead and fix up crawl. But also, that was doing Ukrainian, so I'm a little wary. Let's fix the search function. Let's do it inside. Search looked like it was almost working. It was just using our incorrect file name. So I guess we'll just fix the search one. Everything's good here. What's this over here? That is, yeah. It's populating it with a default. Oh, it's zipping that. Okay, what it's doing is it's creating a dictionary, an ordered dictionary that includes nothing as the results, and I haven't yet treated those pages. So it's retrieving the titles and putting those in the keys of that dictionary, but it's not actually retrieving the pages. So I need to say, do I want search to return? Let's go ahead and grab the pages. I'll go and then I'll say okay, I'm setting it up here, so I might as well finish it up here. Title for title in title. Because this is a dictionary, so whenever you iterate through a dictionary, if you don't tell it to go for both the values and the keys, that it will just give you the key. So this will be the thing that was returned by this search, which we just saw was the title. So that's why I'm able to say that that's the title. And so now I'm going to do wiki.page title. And I'm going to assign that to title. And I don't know whether it's going to like this, because if you change the thing as you're going through a dictionary, hopefully it won't, because I'm not going through the actual values, and hopefully it will not give me an error message because of this.
Pages.
Yeah. That's all set. So I'm gonna redefine the function in case so I don't have to make sure that import is working properly. Now let's go back to the Jupyter Notebook. Really appreciate y'all being here and paying attention. This is not usually a lot of fun for people. Let's redefine the search function. And now let's do a search. Okay, so this takes a list of queries. I'm going to do this. I'm going to use this as my, let's call that pro-social search query. And go ahead and, oh dang, I'll do this down at the new stuff. I've already defined that. We'll do it here. And now I can say search that. So I don't have to keep typing that thing, even though it's almost as long, my variable name. Because we're all about pro-social AI. Let's add AI in there. Or ethical AI is another term for it. And human compatible AI, I think, or beneficial AI, I think. We'll leave it at that. That's the name of a book by Stuart Russell about this topic. Let's see what we get here. Results equals 10 instead of a lot. And let's return that to something. Title. This is a way that I sometimes name dictionaries. I'll put one word on the left of the underscore and the object on the right, the values on the right, the keys on the left and the values on the right. Looks like that's working a little better. I should probably put a TQDM in one of these things. Let's go ahead and put that in there, and then let's go put it over in the actual text over here, on the actual file. While that's working in the background, let's TQDM all that. TQDM. Have you ever who has heard of TQDM? You don't get to answer, John. Not quite yet. Unless, come on, you might have heard of it.
Not really, actually.
This is the import you use for that from TQDM. Import TQDM. I have no idea what TQDM stands for, but it is an acronym. Yeah, John, tell us what it is.
I think it's a progress bar.
Oh, here it is.
Estimate and a progress bar for how long the job is going to be.
Yeah, it's just one of those. You see those things that scroll on the and no QA. This means it's not, my linter won't bother me because about these unused imports and things. Now that I'm using it up above here, I can actually do it inside the function. This is so that I can copy this text into the textbook and have it all work without, like I just did in that code block before. All I have to do is define these variables and it should work. But anyway, now I don't need that anymore. Now that's inside. I do need it back here though, because other things are using it. Anyway, I'm doing things crappily. But I'm gonna wrap it around both of these things. So we'll get two progress bars. Once when it goes through the page. Actually, the searches seem to happen super fast. So let's not do it there. Let's do it here. Let's do it once it starts to do the long running task. And then we'll rerun this function once we've redefined it, just so you can see how it's different after we've got everything working. Oh, it doesn't look like we've got everything working. Disambiguation error. Okay, we need a try exceptor for disambiguation errors because when we're looking for a particular page, it seems to not be able to find it because it's ambiguous. When disambiguation may refer to any of these three things. So when we have that exception, what I might do is, it's not at all what I wanted it to. I want it to win-win economics is what I'm interested in. So we might have to. Let's do a try Excel. I'll show you what I'm talking about. We'll do it whenever we go to get the pages. We will say, let's see what it looks like in our title pages thing. Let's see what our titles look like. See if they include that disambiguation parenthesis. Oh, no. Title pages not defined? I've not created it anywhere? I guess I only created it inside of there, and I never returned it because it errored out. Okay, so for now, we're just going to skip those. Try. And I'm going to do accept. Let's see if wiki.disambiguation error is a thing. It is. I'm going to probably also have to accept some others. And for this, the smart thing to do would be to search for the first in the error message itself. But that's going to be pretty tricky. So we're just going to pass. And then we're going to do accept disambiguation error. We're going to say accept exception to get rid of all. So at least this thing will finish. And then I'll put this in the right place. Let's put this all over in the TQDM version, and then we'll copy it back over into here. I think it's right here that it goes. Yes, it is. And I don't need that anymore. And now I can copy the whole function, and it'll all be good. It'll have a progress bar. It'll have try accept. It won't be ideal. This is called agile, or it's called lazy. Lazy in a good way. Because what it means is you don't do things until you absolutely have to. So we'll worry about that disambiguation if it comes. I can see that we're making progress. So we now have a progress bar. It doesn't tell me how long it's going to take, though, because I didn't give it a total. Because the ordered dictionary apparently doesn't have a length. That's odd. I would have thought that would have worked. I'm going to give the TQDM a hint as to the total. So I'm going to say total. Oh, I'm sorry. It is giving us a time estimate. Okay, I was wrong. It does know the length of a dictionary because it's telling us that it's going to take about 31 seconds or 6 more seconds, so 35 seconds overall. So, and we're done. We got about 50 pages because I said 10 per, and I gave it 6 different type of things to look for. And so that's about right.